Welcome back, everybody. Let's have a look at XRP then, shall we? And it's been a pretty good day, because earlier on I made a video suggesting that there is going to be a big move take place. The big move could have been to the up or to the down, Bitcoin being in this trading range, this blue box trading range, basically meaning a 50-50, and especially as of yesterday and today, where we had ourselves basically in the middle of this long-term upwards trend line, which has been support and resistance for several years now. So it's a big deal for Bitcoin to be around this area, and it's a big deal for it to break up above it. The fact that we are looking like a rejection from it probably, I would say, will bring us down to 10,500 to start with, and maybe over the next week or two fill that CME gap at 9,600, where I would expect to see a significant bounce from there. But usually is the way that when Bitcoin dumps, XRP will dump massively, okay? But it's not the case today. In fact, Bitcoin dumped and XRP actually showed real signs of strength against that dump, leading me to believe that my initial what I've been talking about these last few, I suppose, going on for a couple of months now, sounds to me like it's actually true. Which is this, and this is it, just in case you haven't watched it. So basically, I believe that XRP had been in a consolidation phase much longer than anyone thought, which is why it was such an underperformer in the past, and that is now likely to change since we broke out of there and have begun an accumulation period around this area. So people thinking all of this area, people are thinking XRP is dead, XRP is nothing, but to me, the way I saw it is that actually this is its time to show us that it's changed its trend. Now eventually this trend line would go to zero, given enough time. So obviously it would have to break out of there at some point, but it broke out of here around this level. Interestingly enough, this is the level where we went parabolic in the past, in 2017. This is the kind of the price range that it launched from, around 22 cent, which is kind of roughly where we were accumulating around. I thought this would go on for a bit longer than it did, but it didn't, and it launched already, and it's started to make its moves. Now, before everyone gets super excited on this one, just let me show you on a larger time frame. So this is the parabolic top in 2017, and this is a fib retracement from it. So you can see that we were trending around these levels between 17 and 30. So this was the last period of accumulation. But before then, all the way back down in these levels, we were like literally like half a cent to about 3 cents at max. I know because I traded it back then, and obviously I was quite happy with with that trade. But that aside, I do believe that the accumulation phase is all the way at this bottom of this fib retracement, which basically means that the vast majority of the last couple of years of XRP's lifespan, where it's been slated and slugged off and taken the mick out of, told it's a scam and this, that and the other, actually all of that period, as far as I'm concerned, is the new accumulation. So yes, we did go parabolic from between sort of 17 and 30 cent in the past, but we are in a different phase now, and the price is likely to rally higher than that this time. It doesn't mean that it's going to do that right now. It's not going to do that. What I'm saying is, in simple terms, is that this red zone here, all the way up to 86 cent, is an accumulation phase, similar to the areas down here between half a cent and 30 cent. Technically an accumulation period, which is an enormous amount of accumulation. I mean, you think about just the amount of money you would have made from here to 30 cent. It's just been ridiculous. That's like a 60x in itself. But that aside, between here and here is roughly about what we're talking about now. We're talking about a 3x in accumulation from the price that we're at right now, and that's just accumulation. The interesting stuff takes place after this level, after the 86 cent. So let's go back to this chart, not this one, and let's have a look at what's going on in the shorter time frame. So we now know that breaking above 86 cent is the equivalent of what it did when it broke out of about 27 cent, when it really started to go parabolic. That's what's going to happen to XRP this time round. Don't expect to see that anytime this year, however, but if you did, hold on to your armchair, because it will likely go pretty crazy. That's the theory to it. So the fib retracement breaking out that level go pretty crazy, but I don't think it's going to happen. Probably won't happen this year. It'll happen next year, and it'll be bonkers. It'll be mad. It'll be crazy, and you're going to be in it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice, but I plan to be involved in that, because anyway. That aside, let's just focus on what's going on right now. So we're showing relative strength within this blue box territory. So we're finding resistance and we're finding support. This is what happened to Bitcoin. We found resistance and support, and now we've broken down beneath it. We're also beneath the 10 EMA, which has got a bit of a curvature on it. So this, to me, now looks bearish. I know people are thinking this is just people, shorts getting hunted and longs getting hunted. That's not what's happening on this occasion. This is actually a top formed now, and a retracement is more likely. But I'm not going to say it's doom and gloom. The retracement isn't, it doesn't. We have to take things step at a time, and the first step is 10,500. That would be a retracement from the actual price that we're at right now, 10,500 to that's 8%. So it's a decent drop. If Bitcoin dropped 8%, I would expect XRP to break this formation and then begin to come down into these other areas. So we're talking areas such as 26.5 cent. We're talking 23.7 cent, and these are upwards trending moving averages, so they will be different tomorrow as they are today, but these are the areas where we'll be supported from on the first occasions, unless this dump was horrendous and came straight down to the CME gap, and that would really just break the entire chart formation. We'd need time to cool off to work out where we're going to go from there, and that would likely destroy XRP in the short term, and maybe bring us all the way down to around 22 cent. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if it did happen, that's what I would expect to see, despite the strength that we're in right now. The reason we've got the strength is because we're in a different phase. We're reaccumulated, and now there's a lot more money invested into it. But the chart again is starting to look a bit droopy, and even though we survived the move today, and we're holding strong around 28.2 cent, it might not last. But the eye on the prize is the long term, and the long term, like I say, is previous all-time highs and probably more. I'm actually thinking it's likely to be more this time, but I've made videos about that. You'll have to look into that. So let's have a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. So again, dominance is, even though it's wiggling around a bit, it's a bearish chart. We're looking at it on the daily chart here. We've got our death cross, which is diverging still. Let's have a look at it on the 4-hour chart. Death cross, which is still diverging and actually beneath the green 50 exponential, so that's bearish into itself. And the daily chart, we've looked at that, and the weekly chart, technically this is bearish still, so we're beneath both 100 and 50 exponential moving average. So what that means in simple terms is that actually your money is, until proven otherwise, better in altcoins. And what better altcoins to have it in than in the top the top 10, top 20. One of those being XRP is what, top 3, top 4. So yeah, that's just the way it is. Altcoins are dominant, technically not actually dominant being a 62 read. It'd be dominant if this was a 49, but they're dominating. They're taking over. And if we look back in time, last time we saw these kinds of divergences, which we haven't seen in a while, and we've not had divergences like this begin for a long time. The last time we had it was December into 2017, and then 2017, where basically the parabolic moves of all coins took place, and alts clearly crushed that move, bringing us all the way down to a 35 at its bottom, where basically the parabolic move and the cycle high of Bitcoin ended, but the overall winner wasn't Bitcoin, it was altcoins. Now we're a long way away from all of that, but the way I'm seeing it at the moment, and this is very early days, we haven't seen divergences like this on the Bitcoin dominance for a long time. Not since the big crypto rally from 2017. So I prefer my altcoins to Bitcoin, clearly. I find it more interesting to trade those coins. I always have to look at Bitcoin, obviously, to trade that chart, But as far as altcoins are concerned, despite the moves today, and some of those alts have been hurt, dominance is still down and falling. So XRP is likely to continue to be the beast this year and into next year. I don't think there's anything wrong with people invested in XRP. I think the last laugh will be had by them. When you compare this and Bitcoin in the long term, and the projected outcome of Bitcoin is about 35 to 50 to maybe some people even say $200,000. I mean, that is a dramatic increase. We're talking a 20x for Bitcoin alone, more or less a 20x, about an 18x for Bitcoin alone at its top projection. So we know that altcoins are dominant in those phases. So a 20x for where we are right now would bring us up to about $5, basically about $6 for an XRP, and that's if we mimicked Bitcoin's trend. So if you use your imagination, which is obviously something you have to do when you're looking 18 months into the future, we could be talking way more than a 20x. We could be talking a 50x. We could be talking a 100x. And people think that's mad, but that's generally how it's likely to play out. Money will flow into alts just like it did last time in a much higher respect than it did to Bitcoin. Look at the state of the dominance chart there, completely falling in on itself despite Bitcoin going absolutely parabolic. Bitcoin's price went all the way up to 20,000, but the dominance chart went all the way down to 35. The money's in alts. Safety in Bitcoin, I agree. As far as crypto could be safe, there's safety in Bitcoin, but there's definitely money in alts, and diverging nicely away from each other on every significant time frame, whether that's a weekly or a daily or a 4-hourly. So until proven otherwise, your money is reasonably safe in XRP. Anyway, thank you for watching. Take it easy.